Welcome back to 504 Road Trips. Today we continue our U.S. Highway 11 series as we head north into the city of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. At this point, the largest city we've encountered on U.S. 11. Hattiesburg is the county seat of Forrest County, although some of Hattiesburg has spilled out into Lamar County as the city has expanded to the west. Hattiesburg is known as the Hub City due to its various railroad lines and being the center of a thriving lumber industry throughout most of its history. Now, time for the story of this series and why it happened. As our regular viewers should know, we're from New Orleans, Louisiana, and every year a thing called Mardi Gras happens. And with all of the parades in the weeks leading up to Mardi Gras, it's really hard to get around town on the weekends. All of this builds to its peak and abrupt ending on Mardi Gras Day or Fat Tuesday. We typically try to get out of town since we don't really have any interest in the parades or the crowds or fighting for beads and trinkets. Plus, it's basically a free 4-day weekend. Any business that's not absolutely essential or tourist related is closed on Monday and Tuesday. At the same time, anywhere else you go is just a regular work day and school day on Monday and Tuesday, so out-of-town tourist attractions aren't busy, and there's a high chance that the people you run into are also from New Orleans and took the same opportunity to get away. So this video was filmed on February 18th, 2023. Fat Tuesday was February 23rd. We had the route all planned out between New Orleans and Chattanooga, and as long as we got through New Orleans, started filming in Irish Bayou, and got through Slidell before 10 a.m., we'd be clear of any possible street closures due to parades. What we didn't take into consideration was that a lot of the small towns in Mississippi have parades too. They're not nearly as big or as organized as the parades in New Orleans, but they involve street closures. As we stopped for gas on the edge of Hattiesburg, there was talk inside the little store about the parade later on that day. So we were racing the clock to get through town before they started closing streets. We had a couple of hours to spare, but with our New Orleans mentality, that meant to us that they'd be closing the streets immediately, or maybe we were already too late. But as you'll see later in the video, the Mardi Gras parades in Hattiesburg aren't nearly as big of a deal as they are in New Orleans. If I hadn't mentioned it, you would never guess that a parade was going to happen within a couple of hours of the filming of this video. No crowds forming, nobody camped out on the neutral ground, no trucks loaded up with barricades to close off the streets, no street vendors getting ready to sell whatever they sell at parades, just business as usual for 11 o'clock on a Saturday morning. So for the rest of the trip, the only other problem was our plans to diverge from the US 11 main line in Meridian and follow the old route through the city, which would have been far more interesting than the 3 miles of I-59 that Highway 11 follows there. But their Mardi Gras celebration would be in full swing by the time we'd be arriving, and Old Highway 11 passes right through the town square, which is the center of all the activity. So we had to scrap that idea. We may try to include that in a special at some point in the future. So back to Hattiesburg, the city was founded in 1882 by civil engineer William H. Hardy and named for his wife Hattie. The Hardy name has been immortalized in the name of the city's east-west Main Street. Hattiesburg is home to Camp Shelby Joint Forces Training Center, the largest reserve component training site covering 136,000 acres. This is the normal annual training location for National Guard and reserve units located in Mississippi, Alabama, and Tennessee. However, units from across the country use its assets to support a variety of missions. Hattiesburg also has 2 major hospitals as well as 2 colleges, the University of Southern Mississippi and William Carey University. As we reach Hattiesburg's historic downtown area, US 11 splits into a couplet, with the northbound lanes turning onto Hardy Street for a block before continuing north on Front Street. The large blonde brick building you see on the left is Hattiesburg's City Hall. Built in the 1920s, is one of the finest municipal buildings in the state. The 100th anniversary of the opening of this new City Hall was celebrated on January 19, 2023. Then on the corner of Forest and Front, just ahead, is Hattiesburg's Sanger Theater, the fourth active Sanger Theater we've caught on camera on 504 road trips. Directly behind the Sanger is the former S.H. Crescent Company department store, something that every old city seems to have with a preserved facade for all to see. After crossing Main Street, we see a number of bars, cafes, restaurants, antique stores, and salons, all in one central location. Here we found some discrepancies in the maps. It appears from the signage that US 11 turns left here to join its southbound lanes one block to the left. Some maps show this to be the case, and others show US 11's northbound lanes continuing for a few more blocks on Front Street. It's possible that Front Street and Pine Street both continued as one-ways for a few more blocks, and this is no longer the case, so there was no further need to separate them. But more confusing is this is labeled on maps as Mobile Street and signed as Mobile Street, but the VFW Hall on the left has its address printed as Market Street above the entrance to the building. Other businesses advertise their address as Market Street, but even on old maps I find the name to be labeled Mobile Street. Here we turn left onto Bowie Street to head out of town, or perhaps this is Gordon Street. Once again, what's on the maps and the street signs are not in agreement with the sign in front of the Hattiesburg Housing Authority to the left that lists its address as Gordon Street, a sign that is less than 10 feet from a corner street sign listing the name as Bowie Street. This discrepancy seems to end right after a right-hand curve in the road. Here we merge onto a former alignment of Mississippi State Highway 42, which will take us out of the city of Hattiesburg shortly. Highway 42 underwent a drastic realignment with the opening of the Evelyn Gandy Parkway just to the north. We approach the Leaf River, which is the boundary between the cities of Hattiesburg and Petal, and we'll conclude today's video here. Thanks for watching. We've enabled channel memberships, so for just $1 a month, you can help support our channel and receive special perks. Click the link in the description to join. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up, post a comment, subscribe, share and follow us on social media, and join us for our next 504 road trip.